watch lovers, you know what time it is. Welcome to Monday evening. Welcome to That Watch Guy London. And tonight, joining me in the studio is the lovely Kaylie and Jonilda.
Hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Well, what were you going to say?
I forgot this.
You forgot the guys.
Hi, guys.
Guys, plural. Amazing. Let's all give a giant hello to Spencer.
Hi,
Spencer?
Spencer?
He's up there, I think.
Yeah, Spencer. Spencer's on his way back. He's actually he's on a plane as we speak, and he's due to be landing probably in about an hour's time.
Yeah.
So once again, Spencer misses his show, which is great. Kaylie, you look really different this week to last week. Kaylie, what's happened? You look really different.
Thank you. Money well spent.
Yeah. How different? What have you done?
Just a little bit of lip filler.
Lip filler. You would have loved the conversation in the studio just before we came on air. We've been discussing Botox, lip filler. What else are we? What was the other thing?
Celebrities.
Celebrity. Yeah, all going off, all going off. Ladies, I've got to say, what a fantastic job you did last week.
Oh, thank you.
I was on a boat at the time, so I couldn't watch live, so I didn't see all the streams going down. But when I did watch, it was great.
We tried to do our
I
best.
really,
It was so much fun.
really enjoyed it. And I think actually, from our little chat we had just in the sushi bar, just before we came on air, your idea is great. At the end of every show, we're going to do a little Ask Kaylie and Jonilda where you, the audience, can tap in and ask any questions you want of our two lovely ladies from BQ Watches. What do you think to that?
Exciting.
Fantastic. Let's say hello to some of these people in the chat. By the way, I'd like to say hello to Tim. Who else did I see last night on a live stream?
Nicola, you said?
Nicola, you keyboard warrior, you. I saw you last night furiously tapping away whilst I was watching Paul Thorpe in the company of Tim and others. And yes, my goodness, that was a late night. I was a bit tired this morning, but very interesting viewing indeed. Let's just cover a couple of little bases.
Okay, go on, Gav.
First of all,
hit 'em.
Have you been watching the Women's World Cup?
Yes, we have been watching it in the office.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're doing well.
Aren't we just? We're through to the semi-finals, is it now, against Australia?
Yep.
Yeah. You're going to be tuning in? Does the whole office stop to watch it?
We don't
watch
stop.
it.
But it will go on.
Jonilda,
On Wednesday, no?
Yeah, I think it's Wednesday, yeah. Who are you going to cheer for, Jonilda?
Sorry?
Who are you going to cheer for? You going to cheer for England?
Yeah, sure.
Good
sure,
girl. And of course, I've got to say, there's been a big loss to our team this week, hasn't there? Because Harry Kane is no longer a Tottenham player. And you know what? Best of luck, Harry, because in your first final yesterday, you lost 3-0. Can't say I'm happy about that for you because you've gone, but what a terrible thing to happen. Well, I'm upset he's gone, but equally I can't blame the man, you know.
No.
He's been a great servant of the club. But poor fella, he's literally guaranteed a trophy on his first day in his new job and they lose 3-0 to Leipzig. Which is, that's a bit of a shame, isn't it? Matthew Jackson says, hey, Kaylie and Jonilda.
Hi.
Just for the chat and just for everybody, because Kaylie gets on my back about it, it's Kaylie. She told me off for about the first 6 months we ever met, because I always used to spell her name wrong. Kaylie.
And it was funny because you could spell mine. Which is so
more
difficult.
Well, it's not because Jonilda say it as you said, but Kaylie has so many different options of. True. Most people write EIGH, don't they?
Everyone writes EIGH.
A lot of people.
Yeah, so I blame
my mum.
I blame your mum, to be fair.
Or Kaylie. Or
Tim Jacks kept up the Spurs tradition trophy list. You're absolutely right. 4 CDs. I was knackered this morning. 1:30 a.m. is way past my bedtime. You're absolutely right. Wow. Strange choice. I think I don't rate Bayern Munich. It's an interesting topic. We're going to talk watches in a second, but because footballers and watches, Harry Kane had a beautiful watch on when he signed for Leipzig, for Bayern Munich. He had a beautiful Patek on, which I saw today. But it's an interesting choice, and not a conversation you can probably join in on this one. So I'll just pretend Spencer's here for a sec. But it's a strange choice to join a German team. They're probably guaranteed to win the Bundesliga. That's not much of an ambition. They might make quarterfinals of the Champions League, semi-finals, maybe the finals. But the legacy he would have had at Tottenham for 1 or 2 more seasons to be the all-time greatest goal scorer in the Premier League probably would have lasted his lifetime.
But why did he do it then, you reckon?
Money.
Do you think it was money?
No, I don't think it was money. I think it's ambition.
Okay.
He wants to win things, and quite clearly our team are absolutely shocking, and he's not going to win anything with us. Yeah.
Okay.
I will say I saw something really funny on Twitter. I don't even know why it came up on my Twitter. Somebody said that he tried to speak to the ref about to something about the penalty, but then realised he couldn't speak German.
Yes, that's
There
right.
was like a really funny video, and he just nothing.
That's right. They were all approaching the referee to berate the and he didn't. He realised he couldn't speak German.
Funny.
Yeah. Trudy Lincoln. That's exactly where her name was from. Greggy boy. What does Groggy say? Blame Marillion. Yeah. Kaylie. You never heard the song Kaylie by Marillion?
No.
Oh,
I probably
Kaylie.
have when I was like younger. But
Kaylie, we're gonna have to listen to it after. Because that's an incredible song. Greggy, hope you're doing well. Been a long time, my friend, since I've seen you.
Tim Jacks, thank you for the comment.
Yeah, what did Tim say? Can we just say well done to Paul, sticking up for the good guys like Spencer. Let's really quickly just jump on that and get to that. So yeah, I'd like to thank Paul actually for jumping in because
always.
Poor old Spencer's had a bit of a rough ride due to everybody else's mishaps. And by the way, can we just sort of start by saying, since I've been away and I haven't seen you, the whole Anthony Farah disaster has come to a head, and I've watched all the commentary because it's interesting to watch what people have had to say. And I was watching last night on Tim's stream, and apparently they're saying nobody's condemning Anthony for what he did, but absolutely disgraceful to obviously steal people's money like that,
100%.
like flat out. I've met Anthony a couple of times with Spencer. We've always got on well. But you know what? With like all of these things, if you look back in hindsight, there are obviously obvious pointers. And I don't like the comparison that's been made between, Anthony Farah, who clearly was running a Ponzi scheme, the entire time, to what is a well-established business with a lovely man at the top, which is Spencer.
I agree. Yeah,
and
100%.
I think the read across from some of these channels has been a bit disgraceful.
I think some of the comments are a bit out of order.
Yeah, they are. If you ask me, but people say we're just backing our friend. But at the end of the day, I've known him pretty much all my life. So I'm vouching for Spencer, and that's a vouch. And
I've known him 3 years, but I'll vouch for
it's
him.
a different business. It's a different business model.
Different.
And at the point when I was watching, when I met Anthony with Spencer, and he was discussing his dream of taking this penthouse for $100,000 a month rent, we just all scratched our heads and just thought, well, that's just absolutely insane. Then I saw him do the guarantee buyback on his watches, and I thought, that's insane. And of course, people run things very differently. When you're established and you run a business, as BQ Watches is, where you work, where there's bricks and mortars, and there's bills to pay, and there's insurance, and everything is just done properly.
I can just say that it's a shame to even compare.
Well,
different wards and companies.
I've been on the planet for 53 years, and I have seen so many Ponzi schemes that come and go in very, very different businesses. And this is just another example of, we just happen to be in the space. And it's a space where a ginormous Ponzi scheme has blown up, where someone has taken people's money and has spent it on a lifestyle. But yeah, I've seen some of these comments last night, and some of the comments were things like, well, why did nobody spot it? How did all you dealers not know? Not that I'm a dealer, because I just host the channel.
We also don't deal with him.
Yeah, we have nothing to do with him.
We'd have nothing to do with him. The only time we've had anything to do with him is, like you said, on the trips that you've been and you've met him.
Yeah.
I don't know what he does on his day-to-day life, and I don't know what do you know what I mean? We would never know.
It wasn't an everyday relationship.
No, it wasn't. Yeah. It wasn't a relationship at all. It was more of like an acquaintance.
So I don't want to jump into all this all night. We're not going to, because that's not what we are as a channel. But, it would be remiss of us not to mention that 100%. It's a disgrace what's happened. I feel very sorry for every victim. No matter how much money they do or don't have, they're out of pocket, and it's wrong. And personally speaking, I don't see any chance of them getting their money back. But Dioptre, I think it's important to acknowledge that it's affected people's confidence to buy from the grey market. Paul telling a victim who hadn't been paid for a consigned watch to report it stolen I don't know. But there's lots of scenarios around this. But, just to say, this is 3,000 miles away, or 6,000 miles away in the States. It's very, very different here in terms of how businesses are run. Certainly the businesses that we know, and certainly BQ Watches, and that's all we can speak for. If you are at all in any way thinking about consignment, we've talked about it so many times on the show, and I see all the sort of the people jumping up and down calling for the end of consignment. But the bottom line is, if you choose to consign with the right dealer,
but I think that's where we need to put it in capitals, Gav.
Yeah,
the right dealer. We're not on about what they call people call them backpack dealers. Like, we're on about well-established dealers who have a company, who have four walls, who have bills to pay, who are on. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's when you consign with them.
Yeah.
And they have a reputation. Like Spencer has a reputation of being a good owner, a good boss, a good person.
And all we do is try to maintain that reputation.
Yeah, 100%.
And,
you are nothing without reputation.
True.
And every business is going to suffer from the comments that I see sometimes of
course.
nobody got back to me, everybody's busy, but the bottom line
They
is
offered me a bad price. And but
that's in the course of business, but
Yeah.
nobody gets, nobody's looking at a scenario like the doomsday that's just happened.
No.
Salim makes a really good comment. I've spent vast amount of money with Spencer, not a problem. I gave him some hard to find watches. He sources them for me every time. Excellent service.
Yeah, and Salim, and I really appreciate Salim's comments.
Yeah.
You know what I mean,
And
he's
thank
a really
you,
good
Russell,
customer
for supporting
of ours.
us as well. He's saying that he's here for us.
Yeah, thank you, Russell. That's great.
Thank you.
Is our Gav wearing a Rolex? Brit, good to have you with us, Brit. No, Gavin is wearing his Tudor Black Bay Pro, which actually tonight looks a little bit small on my wrist, which means that my arms must be getting bigger for the wrong reasons. But yeah, the only person wearing a watch today is me, and I got my Black Bay Pro on. Right, let's answer a couple of these questions. Diotre, do you think someone who purchases a watch has the right to know that it was consigned to the dealer and the person has been paid? Do you think that someone who purchases a watch... I don't think...
I will, but
Go on, you can answer that.
We'll be completely honest.
Yeah.
If it is a customer's watch, we've told people this is a customer's watch. Especially if they're like, what's the best you can do on the price? I'll say it's a customer's watch. I need to speak to them and see what it is that they're willing to go down to. And would never. And we
are happy to say that. Absolutely,
Yeah, it's not a secret.
It's not a secret. It's not nothing to hide, nothing to say.
Yeah.
So. We're always honest.
Yeah.
Always.
I mean, your first option in the business has always been to buy the watches.
100%.
And that's at your price.
That's always our first option. This is what I
Even
was trying
still.
to say earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, even
Always.
still. I mean, those that, consignment is not just new in the watch business. It's been around for a very long time. It's the same as in the art world. Loads of people consign in art. We used to call it on APRO. And it's important to know that, that someone was saying about the money, the money gets held on to. I think what happened perhaps with Anthony was he wouldn't tell people when watches were sold. And this is me reading between the lines of all the streams I've seen because I don't have any facts on anything. But the way a Ponzi scheme would work is you collect money from someone, you don't give it back to them, then eventually you give it back to them, but you've taken the money from someone else. So, for example, I give Anthony an AP to sell for 50 grand. He sells it, doesn't tell me he sold it, tells me it's still for sale. He's taken the money and he's spent it on a private jet or whatever. And then 3 months down the line, he sells another watch and he gives me my money back. So I think everything's fine, which is why it takes something horrific for a Ponzi scheme to fail, like a falling market. And that's exactly what's happened over the last year. Is prices have been falling. If he's stuck with stock, he's getting stuck, and then it eventually comes to an end. But anyway, let's
but also
yeah,
I know, sorry, just to say something there. And then you were saying about that's what happened. He wasn't saying it was sold, but we're very transparent with our customers who do consign with us, and if it does sell, we'll tell them. And obviously people do have 14 days to return it. They won't get paid straight away. They do have, there's a 14-day return policy like there is with anything that people buy online. Yeah. And that's not just watches, that's anything. Yeah. If you buy clothes, you've got a return policy that you can return it in. And after that 14 days is when they get paid. But everyone's told up front, like, they've got 14 days, you'll get... Do you know what I mean? Everyone's in the loop. Nobody's 100%. Told that they'll
Everything's
get paid.
Insured.
Exactly.
Everything's taken care of. Kid Mambo puts up a comment, which I will get to. Where is the watch market at, given the latest drama? Just when confidence is up with grey dealers, it must put some doubt in the minds of buyers. Something we were talking about over dinner tonight, which is... our audience tonight, over the course of this week, we're going to have 2,500 views. Even Tim's streams might get 2,500, 3,000 views. In the context of the globe and the world, it's not even a dot. And I think business goes on. You girl said to me something very interesting earlier. You said, I cannot believe the amount of watches we are selling at the moment. Not buying, selling. Mm-hmm. And that's a very interesting, I come from a financial background. That's a very interesting marker that things are going out the door. It's almost like the onslaught of all the watches being offered has kind of just slowed down a little bit, and now all of a sudden the buyers are appearing, which means pricing is good.
It's the right price,
It's
right?
the right
for people.
time to buy.
Yeah, exactly.
And whether that's not offering an opinion, that's just saying people are finding for themselves it's the right time to buy. If you remember winding back a year ago, I'd say to you, Kaylie, are you seeing more sellers than buyers? And now it's the reverse.
Yes,
you're seeing the
sellers,
buyers,
yeah.
and it's across the board from £3,000 watches up to however much your watches go up to. But all good stuff. Right, I'm not going to deal with that anymore because it's not for us. We're not about. We just seem to be drawn into it.
We don't want to be. We're not involved.
No,
but we just want to state some facts.
Everyone's entitled to their opinions, and we totally respect that.
We just wanted basically to say that we're honest. Any questions, any details that you want to know about?
Come down to BQ Watches.
Honestly, do you know what? We love
anything
seeing
about
at the new
consignment
showroom as well.
that you're not too sure, that you're scared of. Just call us and we can discuss it.
Yeah, 100.
Oh, watches and words. If I can sign, how do I really know what price my watch sold for? Can show you the bill of sale. I mean, it's not a hidden fact.
Not a problem. You can see on our website. You can see it everywhere.
It's completely transparent. I mean, that's always been Spencer's policy.
Yeah.
It's complete transparency. It's a very different thing to all the nonsense I've been watching. And when I say nonsense, the thoughts of how it works and all the things that go wrong and the comparisons. I mean, I did see someone say the other day something I thought was very naughty, in comparison to Spencer and BQ Watches and to what's gone on with TPG. And I just thought to myself, it's literally in every walk of life you get a bad apple. And there's a bad apple, but
also they have nothing else. They have nothing else to say. Their comment is they had to find something that they wanted to compare him against, and it was the only thing.
Kid Mambo, since the flippers have disappeared, where do BQ source their new watches from?
People still. Obviously, it's completely different to how it was last year, and everyone knows that. Let's be honest. Flippers were at an all-time high. Everyone was a flipper. Let's not lie. Everyone was getting watches, flipping them because they were making a profit. Everyone was doing that, and that's no lie. However, you still have the people that were flippers before the market was that high, and you will always have the people that get these watches to turn them over, whether that's to make money or whether it's to get up on the list. Do you know what I mean? There'll always be them, like there always has been. It's just because last year when the market was at an all-time high, that everyone saw flippers coming out and there was new ones, right? But the ones that have always got the watches and have always sold them, whether, like I said, whether to make a profit or just to sell them to get up on the list, they're still there. They know they haven't moved. They've always been there.
Or let's talk about the collectors that they have. They've been. They had watches for a while. They want to change. They want to part exchange.
A lot of people that want to part exchange.
That's where we get our watches. People that love their watches, but still they want to change.
Where I see the difference is because I come in, twice a week, and I say to you guys, is there anything good to film? Is there anything good that we can unbox? And what I haven't seen, which for me is where it feels like there's a change, is I haven't seen a green Sky Dweller yet. You haven't got that.
One.
Or the blue. Yacht. And that tells me that the flippers have slowed down because given it, I can see them being advertised elsewhere. It just means that stock just isn't coming through to the pre-owned market currently.
Yeah, and if it is...
The Yachtmaster Titanium.
That's what I mean. They're not coming out thick and fast like sometimes they do.
Yeah. It's interesting. I feel very sad that that people have got stung by this. I've had many friends who have been stung by Ponzi schemes in the past. Usually it's because they've been greedy. But in this case, there are people affected and it's awful. But it comes back to me to the point of, make sure you trust the people you're dealing with.
And that's the thing. If you don't trust them, then
don't
don't.
Then
don't
do it.
The same thing in life, though. If you don't trust somebody, don't deal with them. We want people that trust us and are happy and feel confident. Do you know what I mean? Feel confident, and we want people to trust us, which is why we do.
Why we do this as well.
That's what I mean. We want to put faces to
names,
names,
to know
100%.
about
everything.
us, about like the real us, not what you can see or from comments.
There's no.
Exactly.
I think what I love about what I love about our show, what I like about BQ is everybody who sits here is themselves. There's no caricatures. There's no sidelines. There's no agendas. We're here to put on a Monday night for the gang, and that's kind of it. We usually try and avoid, any of the antics that go on.
Yeah,
I feel, having watched some of these streams, that people have been criticised for not recognising what Anthony Farrer has done. I'm not a watch dealer. I'm not in the watch world. I'm appalled and horrified that has gone on. If that was me, however much money I do or don't have, I'd be in pieces if someone had walked off with my money.
Yeah,
I'd also be feeling like a complete moron that I didn't see maybe the signs.
But that's again about trust. They obviously trusted him, and it's heartbreaking for them. Do you know what I mean? Like they trusted somebody, and unfortunately he let them down.
I tell you where the difference is. I was talking to my friend about this today. Let's just take BQ because we happen to be talking about BQ as an example, has been trading, and Spencer for very many years. Your reputation is built over very many years to get to premises, staff, growing, selling a business, moving on, investing in stock, and then you with the social media side of things, it's just a sideline. God, we don't even barely post stuff on Instagram for sale. I mean, it's just not our channels for doing things because it's an established old school type of business. Whereas the new world, the Anthony Farrer world, have built up this whole persona of luxury lifestyle. It's the TikTok selling strategy of let me sell you a lifestyle. Look at my Ferrari.
Look at me. I sell watches, and this is what you could do as well. You could be driving a Range Rover or a private jet.
Can I add something?
Yeah.
Just even thinking about all the jewelers in UK that know about us and trust us, that gives you a lot more confidence than seeing a post on Instagram or a lifestyle. You know what I mean? We've been dealing with so many jewelers everywhere.
Yeah.
And they all trust us and always recommend us.
Yeah.
It's not a lie.
Original OC says when prices are falling, consignment creates an awkward situation for both parties. And I don't see how.
I don't.
What relevance?
I don't.
What relevance?
I'll be honest.
You bid the price you're happy to pay. If somebody doesn't want to take it, they don't have to take it.
And if they want to then consign it, because you'll always get more on consignment, I'll say it.
Yeah.
But you will, but that's anywhere,
yeah, you can return more.
So if the prices are, and let's say they bought it at the height of the market, let's say they bought a Panda Daytona. I'm just going to use that as an example because it was one that was an all-time high, right? You bought it at 40,000 last March, but now they're selling at 30, and you want to try and get back as much as you can because you bought it at that high price. My buy price when they're selling at 27, I'm nowhere near 30.
Yeah.
But I can get you more to get you back more for and closer to what you paid on a consignment basis.
I would suggest as BQ watches, you'd prefer to buy every watch offered to you at the prices you're bidding.
Of course.
Because it would suit your book. And also, if you had 10, Submariners in stock, you bid accordingly. And if that's down because of your stock positions. Kid Mambo asked a good question. Given tonight's show listed as vintage watches and special dials, are you seeing a rise in interest in vintage pieces, for example, birth year Rolexes?
That's really funny.
Yeah.
No, that's a really, really good question because lately I've had a lot of people have said, you've listed this watch, it's 1987, this is the one I want because it's the year I was born.
Yeah.
And there actually has been a rise in people wanting to buy watches of the years that they were born, which hasn't been a thing, and I've actually really noticed it this year.
Yeah, I'm going to answer Tim's question here. I'm not going to answer. I'm going to ask it to you because I don't know the answer. We won't avoid any questions. Not a loaded question. Would BQ push a watch they own more than a consignment piece, assuming both identical?
So I feel like I don't know if we answered this last week. We feel like it's a very good question.
Yeah.
But a lot of people that come to us, obviously our watches, let's just use Submariners. They're both a Submariner date and they're both 2023. There could be one slight difference, as in one might have a sticker on the lug, which is a consignment piece and ours doesn't. But a lot of people that go on our website are interested in a piece. They'll give us our BQ number. And actually a lot of people are like, well, that's a BQ I want. So do you get what I mean?
Yeah, even if you wanted to push it, which again, this is what we do. We sell watches. At the same time, you're always going to try and do what's best for the customer. So there's no point pushing a watch where you can see that the customer doesn't want that. he already made up his mind, he wants
Yeah.
that, then that's fine. As long as at the end the customer is happy,
That's all that
that's the most
matters.
important thing, because we're selling a watch anyway. So
Yeah, Rara says, I don't think a watch is ever identical unless brand and same year and month.
True.
And it may have a scratch on and a mark on
Yeah.
and everything
But yeah,
else.
or
but-
a different date.
But at the end of the
different
day,
card.
whether we brought it or whether it's consignment, we're still selling a watch. So
So OC says, sorry, I'll answer this. As prices drop, consigned pieces become more and more unrealistic with every passing week. Well,
they're not. But the prices aren't dropping that much. Like,
yeah,
weekly.
Yeah.
prices aren't dropping that much
It's not
as
exactly
such.
every week,
Second of
like-
all, it's down to the seller. You'll ring him, you'll reflect the offer, and if he doesn't want to take it, doesn't take it. If he does, he does. I mean, that's
And
the
also, if he
bottom line.
wants to, and if he wants to drop the price slightly, he can. Like it's
Sometimes
very.
they actually call saying,
Yeah.
hi. They ask Kaylie or
Yeah.
me, what do you think? Should we drop the price a bit down? And we're happy to discuss it.
Yeah,
to
exactly.
try-
And we'll be
try-
honest and say, actually, you're here. I think if we drop it to 50,
Yeah, we're a
then
bit
you're-
overpriced.
That's
Let's
okay.
try and do better.
100%. One of the interesting points that we chatted about earlier is that you've had a lot of thanks from people. When the consignment really stepped up for you was when Spencer went in and stepped in and rescued all of those watches from Watchmaster, which was a massive, wasn't a big outlay of cash at all, but it was certainly a big outlay of time. Time
for
and
sure.
experience
It
to get
was
it
a
all
really
organised.
long contract.
Yeah, and one of the things I have heard is that people are very grateful that within 3 months
Yeah.
of you actually getting it all sorted out, watches are being sold, and people can't believe the speed of getting the watches up on the website,
Yeah.
referring the interaction.
But also, sorry, Gav.
Yeah.
I'll be completely honest. The way Watchmaster work compared to us is very different.
Yeah.
So, first of all, they've done a 12-month contract. Second of all, they Photoshop their images on the website, and if somebody bought it was a 2 to 3 week wait because if there was any work that needed doing, they'd go and get that done.
Yeah.
After it's
selling
sold.
it.
Whereas and then obviously now these watches have come over to us, and let's say a watch needed a polish, we are saying to the customers, we think we should get these done before, and they're like, oh, Watchmaster didn't do that. I'm like, yeah, but the difference with us is people will call us on the day and say, can I come and see this watch?
Yeah, they
if
want
it's
the
not
watch
retail
right there
ready,
and
I
then.
want to be able to sell it for you there and then. And they're like, no, fine, do it. I'm really glad of your honesty. And I think the difference is being honest. Again, do you get what I mean?
Billy Piccolo says, in the United States, the prices are dropping every week to watch. Mark is a total disaster. We're a tiny little island. It's a very different place.
And it's very different in the watch world, I think.
We're a very small island here, and the conditions are very different. And it would be silly of me to sort of say we're not all the same, but it does feel like the Americans are very sort of, driven, and there's a lot of the backpack. It's so much smaller
Different prices, different markets.
here. Everybody
We can't
knows
say
each
the
other.
same.
Yeah, I don't feel like it's the same. And that's why I don't think you can say it's apples to apples. You've got to trust the person you're dealing with, and that's the bottom line. And it's not for me to sit here and push Spencer or BQ. I've known the man nearly, it feels like, all my life.
Yeah.
And I would literally trust him with my life, except I would never go on the back of his motorbike.
Never.
By the
I
way,
would
comment of
never.
the evening goes to General Wombo, but I think it got deleted, which was I've just done a fart.
Okay.
That was very nice. Yeah, that was really good. Right, should we talk about some other bits and pieces today?
Let's change subject.
Let's change the subject.
We want to laugh a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's have a little look at some new watches, shall we?
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's an interesting one. Do you know what that is, girls?
I can't see.
An IWC?
No. Have another guess.
Seiko? No.
No.
Can you give us a clue before
All
we
right.
tell us?
I'll give you a clue.
I really can't see.
I'll give you a clue. There's your clue.
A
Porsche.
Ferrari. No,
Porsche. This is interesting.
really bad with cars.
Porsche have launched. See if Spencer was here, he'd be all over this.
Yeah, all over.
Yeah.
See, Spencer, you're not
See?
here. It's a Porsche 911T. I think it's the 60th anniversary of the 911. And when you buy one at something like 350,000, they give you a free watch.
Yeah, I know. We've had some Porsche watches in before.
Porsche design.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Porsche
yeah.
design. Yeah.
Yeah.
So these are Porsche design watches. I don't think I've ever owned one or have any desire to buy. I mean, it actually looks very nice.
Have you got a Porsche, Gav?
I have had, yeah.
And they didn't give you one?
No, they never had one.
What joke?
Pre-owned. I was a pre-owned
Brand
market.
new. You went grey market?
I'm not going to use the term grey market because that means I was importing it from abroad. I feel like the term grey market, by the way, is completely wrong for what you guys do, and it should be pre-owned. But yeah, the Porsche 911T, so 60th anniversary. But yeah, that's the phone. What do you think? I could see you in that, Kaylie. That's a bit of you.
Pink one. But I like that colour.
You want a Barbie one?
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Jonilda, that's a bit of you as well, isn't it?
Actually, but I don't like the number on the
I'm not
side.
into
Don't like
cars,
the 63 on the side.
But Gav, can I say something? Why is he wearing a fake Polo Lacoste?
Oh, me? Yeah, I'm all about wearing fake Polo Lacoste. In case you didn't know, you're obviously not a fan of the channel. You're obviously one of Tim's followers. I'm sponsored by Lacoste in my business, so all my gear is like a professional sportsman. Russell will know all about that. He's sponsored. But don't think you'll ever see any of these.
No.
I feel like it's like box and papers. When you sell the car, someone's going to want the watch, aren't they?
Yeah, 100.
They'll be looking at the paperwork going, where's my watch? Yeah, there we go. I'd like Tom Cruise Porsche design from Top Gun. Yes, why not? Next up, I mean...
That's interesting.
It's interesting, isn't it? I mean, what do we think? This is called an Oris Dat Watch Limited Edition.
Okay.
What do you think about that, girls? What do you think about the colour schemes?
The dial's quite cool.
I do like the combination, of the strap and the colour of the dial.
So what it says on their literature is, taking the form of the Aquis Diver, this follow-up features a shimmering green dial inspired by the waters of the salt marshes along Wadden Sea. Well, who knew that? It's an Oris Caliber 743. It's a limited edition, 43.5mm. It's $3,200 and limited to
3,200.
Yeah, limited to 2,009 pieces.
Oh, wow.
There it is on...
I prefer it on a bracelet.
So do I on a bracelet. Looks much better. Guys,
Yeah.
what do you think about that? Yeah.
For an Oris watch, I would say it's not too bad.
For an Oris watch, it's not too bad. One thing I would say, going through the cupboards now, just talking about Oris and other bits and pieces, wow, the diversity of stock is incredible. We got a great unboxing coming up a bit later. A watch
I'm
we
really
haven't
excited for that
seen.
one, actually.
I
Yeah.
think that everyone is going to love
Yeah,
that. I'm
same.
100% sure.
Yeah, let's have a look at the next one. A watch I would never buy.
Breitling.
But yet they're having a big upsurge. Breitling.
That's a Navi timer, isn't it?
You're such a show-off, Jonilda.
No. I'm just thinking, because I would say from all the Breitlings, they are our best sellers.
100%.
Your best sellers.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a Breitling Navitimer
And it's
BOI
probably one of the
chronograph.
nicest Breitlings
Yeah.
as a model.
Yeah, it's a limited edition,
that the
one
back?
of 300, apparently.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Why is it limited edition?
That's a very good question. It could be the red indexes or
maybe something. Okay.
the circular slide rule.
Okay.
Black alligator strap with deployment class. I don't know. What do you
I
think?
like that.
If you had to pick your favourite out of that,
It's not too
or
bad.
that, or that,
Or the
But does the
Porsche.
first one come with the car?
it comes with the car.
Then- I'll take the first one.
We'd have to buy the car.
Oh.
Should we buy the car and get the watch?
Shall we?
That's an
Yeah.
expensive way of doing it, isn't it?
Should we ask Spencer? We need that watch.
Yeah, we need
Like,
the watch,
it
but
has
the only
to
way to
be-
get the watch is to
Yeah.
get the car.
Night
Yeah.
wrist
We'll
watch man.
share it.
Hey Palm, hope you're well. Breitling is on the rise. Everywhere I hear Breitling is on the rise.
No, but
Yeah, we
Yeah.
agree.
You couldn't pay me to buy a Breitling, and I don't know why. I
I
don't
think
know if
there's
I'm.
some nice ones.
There are some.
I
nice-
don't know if I'm just stuck in the 1980s when I thought Breitling
Why?
was a
What happened?
completely trashy
Oh, okay.
brand, and
Oh.
I just
okay.
never liked them myself. And I don't think anybody ever aspired, maybe, or I didn't, to own a Breitling. I don't know. I just can't.
There
I'm
are
not
a
saying
few
that for
I
Breitling fans
personally
out there,
like, and
obviously,
then-
but
Yeah,
I think I would. In fact, over all of those, if I was buying anything, I would definitely be having just the car.
Well, yeah.
Except I wouldn't have that one. It'd have to be a convertible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in this weather,
You feel-
you never use it.
I just feel like convertibles, suntans.
Yeah, but where? This has been the worst
In
summer
UK?
ever.
We were walking along just now and said it's like March.
It's freezing outside.
It's,
am
it's
literally-
absolutely frozen out, isn't it?
Craziness.
Now I had a whole section lined up for tonight
Okay.
For Spencer.
for Spencer, because if you notice, the sign says vintage watches and special dials. And guess who is our resident expert on vintage dials?
I mean, we can give it a try.
We can try.
Or the follower.
We're,
Our followers.
we're
Yeah,
going
they
to.
help.
We're going to. I actually tried to call in the cavalry to come and help us out, but the cavalry is unwell. So we are going to muddle through ourselves.
We can do this.
And we can do this. We've got this. Let's have a go. Russell, you can help us if we get stuck. First up, I want to talk about. Special dials.
Okay.
When you see watches come in, let's say, for example, like a lapis lazuli. Do you like the way I said that?
Yeah,
A
that's really
lapis
cool.
lazuli.
That's really
Yeah.
good.
Do you think to yourself, wow, that's something special? Look, I know Spencer loves all those things.
Spencer is the one that would
Yeah.
get very excited, probably more than us, but obviously we started as well to recognize and to appreciate.
Thank you, OC, for the super chat. 199, great panel, excellent show. Upvote. Yes, do upvote, everybody. Spence does get excited, doesn't he? Does he do that whole everybody stop, come and have a look at this?
Yeah, especially, I mean, we've just
something special.
Yeah, exactly. But also we've just put some really great watches on our website actually that are very vintage with like special dials, and it was quite interesting when I was like booking them in and researching them, because do you know what I mean? We don't get them in, around. So it's quite interesting for us as well.
Yeah. Michelle says, evening from South Africa.
Hi.
Pete the Greek is asking a very good question. And I know this is being asked later in the questions, but we'll answer it now. What qualifies as vintage?
That's a really good question.
An excellent question.
I would... for Spencer. Yeah. No, I would say, well, first of all, the age of the watch. Yeah. So that's the main factor, because it is vintage if it's probably older than a certain year.
Yeah.
But we don't know what that year is.
No, I do think
it's a style as well.
Yeah,
I think it's a style of dial.
I think it's like pre-1970, like 19.
I do think
before 1980.
80s, 90s. That you can start calling them vintage. And again, it really depends also on like the parts, how original everything was kept. So
that's the big thing.
Yeah. If the bezel hasn't been changed, if the dial is the same as it was
when it dial.
Yeah. Perpetual Time, Alex is saying 20 to 25 years plus is vintage, which makes me feel very old because I'm massively vintage now.
You are.
Yeah, I'm unloved vintage, but I'm massively vintage.
Someone says over 30 years old. Well,
I think that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Also, it's a style, isn't it? Because if you look at all of the modern releases coming from a lot of brands, they're Seiko, they're all going for that vintage 1970s look. Which is actually about 50 years old.
But that applies
retro.
to almost everything nowadays. Like the style, everything is going back to
Gerald Genta style integrated bracelets as well is massively popular at the moment. I picked up a watch from you last week. I had no idea I was going to be buying another one.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, you can invoice me whenever you're ready. I bought the IWC, the engineer from...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I haven't taken it off, and the amount of comments I've had, and I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. Oh. And I had no...
You don't
Since we went to Watches and Wonders.
Yeah.
And I saw it there, I thought, that's pretty cool. You had one in, I saw it in the drawer and thought to myself, if that says next week, I'll always give Spencer a chance to try and sell it because it just come in. And if it hadn't sold after a week, I thought, I'll put a cheeky bid and see if I can get it. I got 10% off. So that's all right.
That's fine.
But I absolutely love it. And I think that for me is it's important, isn't it, to love the watch. There was a question I wanted to come back to, which I will get there. It's from Ice Cold in Alex. Are prices still falling? How can we buy with confidence?
Are we talking Rolexes or anything?
Watches. I would say buy something you love and buy with the confidence that the prices have fallen. And if it's the right price for you, go for it.
But I think that's it, Gav, exactly what you just said. If it's the right price for you. Yeah. Because I feel like now, like we said earlier in the show, the prices are right for people because they aren't at last year's prices. Yeah, they have come down considerably, but they are also at a buyable level for people, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so if you had a watch, like a dream watch, and you think that you thought about buying it last year, then surely this year you would buy it and be happy because it's your dream watch. First of all, it's not just about making money.
Yeah,
sometimes it's just enjoying it.
And sometimes you've been wanting that watch for a while, and actually now you're like, do you know what?
Well, how close am I to getting a no date sub? Nearly,
but that's what I'm
not
saying.
far from
very
this.
Close.
But that's what I'm
very
saying.
Close.
You're very close.
I'm very close, and it's something we said probably a year ago that things are coming back to list. Will they get there? There are so many things. It is a really good market for people that love watches.
Exactly that.
And the confidence you need to buy with is that you love the watch you're buying, and that's the bottom line.
If it goes up, it goes up. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It doesn't
forget
matter.
the value.
Exactly.
I like Tim's comment.
What did Tim say? If you need to worry about your dropping a couple of grand, you should not really be buying it. Buy for love. It's absolutely right. I looked at that engineer and I thought to myself, for me,
you didn't even think about money. You just loved it.
The hairs on my neck when I thought, I love that watch. How much is it? Absolutely. I did. I actually never would question the price or bid. I don't. But you know what I thought? I'll try a cheeky little 10% below and see if I get it. And I got it. So I thought, perfect. And
but you fell in love with that, Gav, and I haven't seen you. The only other time I've seen you fall in love with a watch like that in our office, is the Coke.
Yes.
When that really good one came in, and unfortunately you didn't get it, but you know which one I mean.
I know, because
you come in, you
I
go,
nearly
I
got
like
it 2
they're
weeks ago,
nice.
Kaylie.
Yeah, that's what. No, I was here. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, you came in and you went, no, I love it. Like I love it. You literally looked.
Do you not see a flaw here though? Like as in like a character flaw, because I was supposed to be picking up the watch the day I bought the Engineer, and I was like losing a love. I was so heartbroken that I didn't get the Coke, and in my head I'd already spent the money that I thought, I'm just going to cure. I'm going to get that dopamine hit. I'm going to take the Engineer, and that's it. And I absolutely love it. And Russell was with me as well, which was amazing. Gav, if Tim Wright is blocked, free him up. It was a great debate last night. I don't think anybody should be blocked from our channel at all.
We never block.
No, we don't block anybody. No, everybody's welcome, always. Right, what's next up? I want to show you some watches.
Okay.
Now, I know that between the three of us, Ickle, Pickle and Schmeckle, we won't know everything about these watches. I know that our panel will.
Okay,
and I want to talk about like why some dials are kind of like they really set the world on fire. And I thought I'd start off with a really basic favourite for all the boys and girls.
The
Dominoes.
I think they are so funny.
What a great story behind this.
Yeah.
The CEO would reward his franchise owners
used to, but no.
with a Rolex if they succeed and hit their targets. And I wonder.
I thought it was if they'd been there a certain year.
I thought it was if they hit the targets. Could be if they've been. But it was franchise owners.
Them,
And I thought that how big a company do you need to be to go to Rolex and say, hi, BQ Watches here. For all my staff, when they hit 10 years, I'd like to have a Rolex with their name imprinted on it.
It's insane.
It's mad.
That's amazing.
I do wonder whether, obviously, that was like, these are quite
it was just
pieces.
Probably
was it back then? Would they do that now? It's quite interesting to know.
Yeah. OC, I really appreciate that. I can't speak for Tim, but we are big supporters of Paul Spencer and Gavin, the entire BQ. Thank you very much.
Thank you
very
so
nice
much.
Of that. Let's have a look at the next one. Now, iconic. Now, this is what gets me about this watch. It's a Mickey Mouse. Where's my piece of paper?
Is that something that
it's
you
an
would
Oyster
buy,
Perpetual. Well, how much do you think that watch is? Because I know it's not a watch you would get in.
It's not.
If you go to Burlington Arcade,
I bet it's quite a lot.
Wrong.
I bet.
Wrong?
What about 2?
5.
Oh,
okay.
I don't know if that's a lot or not, but what I'm saying is,
well,
having just spent 3,
you know,
to have a 1970s or 1980s Rolex with Mickey Mouse on the dial, there was probably 1 million of those out there.
Yeah,
but
it's not.
Still kind of cool and fun. I feel like that's the sort of watch maybe the old watch lady will have in her collection. I think I've seen it on her Instagram, a Mickey or a Donald.
Actually very cool.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very different.
Yeah.
What's
it looks
next?
like my Donald's has gone, but anyway, let's not worry about that. In fact, actually, these are all mislabeled. I don't know what's happened here. Let's talk about this one. Do you know what that is?
I honestly...
It's a day date.
Yeah, no, of course. Thank you, Gav. I know it's a day date.
United Arab Emirates
but I
Armed
haven't
Forces.
seen the dial.
Okay, from the UAE logo dials, the Armed Forces dial bears the best aesthetics. Well, at least we think so. The notable size and colours motif are just right. The eagle and 7 stars standing for the 7 Emirates in the UAE.
Did they make many, or you're not too sure?
No, it was issued to basically, I would imagine, commanders and generals in the army. I mean,
I like the date, how it's written.
It's a gold day date they were given.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, isn't that absolutely mental?
I like it.
Yeah,
it's different.
It is different.
I like the date.
What's that?
I really know that logo.
Yeah.
No, that's really annoying. I really know that logo.
No, it's not.
Can you give us a clue? Because I really know it.
Yeah, airline.
Oh, but no, it's not.
Well before you were born, in my generation.
Maybe I don't know the. Maybe
Pan American, Pan Am. That's a Pan Am Rolex.
So was it just for
the crew? Or was it for the
old watch lady. Mickey's are aftermarket, not factory Rolex dials. So there you go. That's why they were a little cheaper.
Okay.
Yeah, Pan Am. So Pan Am was the British Airways, was massive.
Oh, was it?
When we were kids, when I was a kid, and when Spencer was a kid, and they made a program about it. Actually, Pan Am.
Okay.
There's a series.
And they made it for the crew. This one.
Yeah. Funnily enough, it's an Air King.
Okay.
But yeah,
it seems to be Air Kings, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, it feels like the cheaper, lower end models, mass produced. Mass produced as much as they can be. Lapis Lazuli.
Love a lapis lazuli.
The colours
the way you say it is just
the
funny.
colours are incredible, aren't they?
That's a
They
beautiful
really
one.
are.
Yeah. So this is reference 68248. It's 31 millimeter with a diamond dial, 18 karat yellow gold, mid-size, £22,500. But an interesting one, to say the least.
Yeah.
What do we know about tropical dials?
Oh,
Tropicon.
See, this is where Spencer absolutely comes into his own, doesn't
yeah,
it?
he really does.
And I apologise to all of you that,
He's not
Curly, Larry and Mo are just going to muddle through this. But tropical dials are sort of older watches, as I understand, where they are, over time, miscoloured,
yeah.
patinaed,
Yeah.
worn away.
It's what we've talked about basically.
Yeah.
Watches with something somehow wrong.
Yep.
After few years, they became suddenly because they had something different.
Like a defect.
There you go.
So
Then
according to
they
Google,
became collectible.
that's it.
Somehow.
The tropical dial is a dial that's undergone a change in colour or appearance due to the time and atmospheric conditions to which it was exposed. Most importantly, the exposure to sunlight. And let's have a look at some of these things that sort of
That's where you get the pattern.
make their way. Well, it definitely isn't that one.
No.
Okay, so this is a lemon dial Paul Newman Daytona. It was sold at auction, I think, in 2015 or 2016 for some incredible sums of money. And when I look at that watch now, there are so many... Oh, you're looking at the comments, you two, aren't you? There are so many watches now that sort of hark back to that day of the Paul Newman Daytona, don't they?
Yeah, there really is.
Should we show them...
Oh, yeah.
Should we show them an unboxing of something
Yeah.
that... Well, it's not quite like that.
It's not
No,
But
not
quite
quite
a
like
little.
that, but it gives you the vintage vibes.
Yeah.
That's all we're going to say.
And by the way,
On
just to
trend.
say, if this is the shortest unboxing any of you have ever seen, it's because the girl said to me, Gav, this needs to be quick. It's very busy.
Do my lips look okay?
What you had done?
Yeah.
What you had done?
Had
Do my natural lips look fine?
They look fine. They look great. You both look lovely. Should we do an unboxing?
Hi guys, welcome back. As you can see today, I have Kaylie with me. Are you happy to be back?
Yeah, I think it's a joke that I got replaced. But anyway, that's a story for another day anyway.
What have we got for our followers today, Kaylie?
So we've actually got something a little bit different. And I'm actually really excited to show you guys.
Let's have a look. Okay. That's the Tudor Prince Day.
Yeah.
They call it Tiger. Why? Because it was made in honor of the sponsorship with Tiger Woods. The golfer. What's the model number on this, Kaylie? 79280, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And also, look at it. It's got service stickers as well.
So it's absolutely in perfect condition, I would say. Even in the glass, there's a sticker.
Yeah, there's some stickers there as well.
Yeah.
I mean, looking at it really, obviously you've got the chronograph dial. It does look a little bit like the old Rolex Paul Newman.
Yeah, it reminds me of that. That's true.
It's very different, which this is the only one we've ever had in. And if you're a golf fan and a Tudor fan, I mean, it is the perfect watch for you.
A good combination. It's a 39 mil, so I think also a very good size.
I mean, as we know, Ilda, it's very on trend at the moment. Vintage watches are back in. And this looks very vintage.
Everyone is after the old school look, isn't
Yes.
it? And this has everything.
Exactly. It has the dial, the bracelet. I mean, there's parts of it that look exactly like the old Rolexes. So it's really great. It really does. It is on trend, as they say.
Yes. And can we say that for the watch, I think the value, the money is really, really good, guys. This is £4,250. You can see that on our website. It's a great buy. It's a great watch. Condition, what can you say? There's stickers on, so it's absolutely...
It's newly serviced.
Absolutely stunning. I do like the bracelet. It's a bit different. It looks a bit like a Jubilee bracelet.
It does.
On a Tudor watch, though.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if anybody, like we said, anybody's into golf, likes Tiger Woods, wants the old vintage style watch, then this is the piece for you. And you know where we are if you want to ask us any questions.
Give us a call, or
you can see us on Instagram,
YouTube, follow us on YouTube,
and
everywhere.
TikTok. And make sure that you leave any comments below of any other watches that you want to see. But that's it for now.
Bye guys, see you soon.
You go, what a piece. So interestingly enough, as Josh Benson pointed out in the comments here, it's like a Daytona with a date. Not loving the bracelet so much myself on that Jubilee, but equally, £4,250 in a marketplace where that's a consignment piece. Anybody feels like they want to stick a little bid in for that, take the opportunities.
Yeah.
That's what these things are there for. Russell said in the comments that not sure you could play golf in that under your glove. Not sure you could really.
We don't know a lot about
I think
I
at the
don't know
time,
about golf. Where's Darren?
I think he had a tie-up, like it was a sponsorship with Tudor, which actually seems a bit...
Crazy. A bit
well,
cool.
I thought he was always Rolex, Tiger Woods,
Yeah,
but maybe he started with Tudor when he was about 10 or something. Just seen a photo, he had it on a rubber.
Okay.
Interesting.
That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, cheeky 10% discount. Yeah, sure. Listen, it doesn't hurt to ask.
Yeah,
I think
we're always
that's
open
the
to-
beauty. It doesn't hurt to ask, and feel free to ring in with the girls. I really like that watch, and that's why we unboxed it.
Yeah, it was really cool actually to do something completely different because we don't. No, we try to.
I would
but
say
we don't.
it's so lovely now to go through the vaults.
Yeah, it's completely
It's so
different.
lovely to see such different things. And also, I know Josh is in the comments. Josh, being an avid watch fan and also someone who's doing some photography work for you at the moment, he's sort of setting aside some watches now for us to do some unboxing with, which is going to be interesting because there's some really, really cool stuff.
Yeah.
Really, really cool stuff. Let's just whiz through these last couple because I did all the work cutting them all out, so I thought I'd use them. I mean, we talk about sort of interesting dials and watches.
And this one's crazy.
This is the watch that started off on day one at 6.2 million.
The hype on
I
that
think,
was.
the hype, but that's an entry level Patek, basically, isn't it? According to D, because I had a conversation with him about it the other day, it's not even anti-magnetic. So it's a very basic watch.
Oh.
Yet that still trades at over £2 million.
And you still can't get it. Like it's just you're never going to get.
No,
like,
you're never going to get it. You're never going to see one at BQ, are you?
No.
A bit like the Sky Dweller on the green face. We've done that one. There's an old Hoya with a nice dirty looking face.
It has a patina.
Yeah, I do love that. And there's a classic, isn't it? It
There
looks
you go.
ruined. If you saw that in a jumble sale, you'd have
would think that
you'd have the
is-
find of the century.
You'd
but
think you need to go get it serviced or something needed doing.
you'd be having that polished. And isn't it
Actually,
funny how battered and crap it looks that someone's going to go, oh my God, that's insane.
That's worth blah blah
Yeah.
blah.
Yeah, that's insane. That's a tropical dial. That looks amazing. Jim Jack's the stunning Hoya. Yeah, the Hoya was
that
gorgeous.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is really, really beautiful.
That looks so vintage as
Vintage
well.
look.
Yeah. It really is gorgeous. Interesting, actually, isn't it? How Tag have dropped the tag off the Hoyas on some of the latest releases.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Heritage brand and all that. So that was the Aquanaut. And then this is an interesting one. It's the last one. Because I popped this up on Instagram the other day. Patek Philippe. I think it's a 5712. Yeah, 5712. But what's different about this dial? You can't see it from there, can you? Bottom right.
The
It
writing.
says Tiffany and Co.
Tiffany & Co.
Oh, okay.
So that's worth an extra £100,000
Just for having that on it.
just for
It's
having
crazy.
Tiffany & Co. on the dial, which is pretty incredible, isn't it?
It's insane. Like to have a name and it makes it that much.
It is absolutely mental. What's the pounds sign on the Hoya? To be quite honest with you, Tim, I was just getting some examples online. I didn't really look at the prices, and it's not one that's in stock. So don't ring the girls
Yeah.
tomorrow because they absolutely will not have it.
No.
I tell you what is coming up. You ever heard of somebody called Roger Moore?
No.
No, I
No.
don't know him for some reason.
You never heard of him? Roger Moore? Never heard of him? The audience
Is
would
that
have
bad?
heard of him. Yeah, the audience would have heard of him. Roger Moore was James Bond
Okay.
in the 70s.
Okay.
He's dead.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
But they're auctioning off some of his estate.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
And coming up for auction in a few months' time is this.
Oh, well, 100
It's a
go.
007.
Is that what he was wearing?
When he died,
No.
I'll ask.
In one of the films?
During the film.
It isn't, because if you can see, it's got 007 written all over the dial. It's a 50th anniversary Seamaster
Oh, okay.
from 2012, which is pretty cool. And he's also got this one as well, which I've never seen.
Never seen
I
that.
haven't.
No,
but that's
Russell, do you know?
interesting.
Russell, do you know what that is?
Interesting. Well, it's a Speedmaster.
Well, yeah,
but
it's a
different dial.
Speedmaster, yeah, but it's a very interesting, and I really like the strap on it as well.
Yeah.
I'm really intrigued to see what these go for, Gav.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they're on auction, right? So.
Yeah, they're in auction, so we will find out. Yeah. Oh, James Bond, only the best Bond.
Oh.
Yeah. Wow. Bennett Houdinki made it famous. There we go. Right, girls. Should we get some questions in from everybody?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Gents, if you need to know about Botox, if you need to know about lip filler, I have your queens
Nails.
right here.
That's not all we know about.
I know you know a lot about watches as well. If anybody has any questions for the gang, now is the time to put them
Or
up.
any comments, or what
Anything,
would you like
yeah.
to see maybe on the next shows?
Yeah.
I know Spencer, but
Yeah, but
they'd like to see Spencer.
I heard
more.
I heard a rumour that Spencer's not going to be here for the next few weeks.
He's not?
No. Apparently we're carrying the baby again.
Okay.
This is really
Always.
good. Real or fake, lips not watches.
Fake.
Oh, that could be a good one, couldn't it? We could do is it real, is it...
yeah, let's do that.
Because you've got a bloody box full of that rubbish, haven't you? That every
How
time I
much
come
does a comic submariner go for? It really depends. I can't give you a price. They can go for a lot,
But again, that's
but it
what-
has to be the right
original
dial. Like
and yeah,
Yeah.
it all depends on
Put a
exactly
good
it.
Instagram. By the way, guys, if you don't follow BQ Watches on Instagram, why not? And if you don't follow That Watch Guy London on Instagram, why not? On That Watch Guy London, we did put up a post about a Comex Rolex Submariner just this week. So do have a look at that. Any plans for an auction, Stephen L?
I'm sure. I know
I think
Spencer
so,
wants to.
yeah.
I know he does want to do another one. I think
He
it was
does.
the whole wanting to get the shop ready, and obviously there's a show coming up on the 2nd and 3rd of September. So I don't want to say after that, but I know there will be one.
we
before
don't
the
have a
end of the
date,
year.
but we know that.
Tim Jack says deployment or pin and buckle?
Well,
Deployment.
Deployment
yeah.
all day. In fact, I wore...
Pin buckles. I don't know what it is. They annoy me.
Well, I've got to tell you, I wore my Studio Underdog the other day.
Yeah.
Pin and buckle.
Didn't like it. Really.
It's just too much.
You're
of a-
not
I'm just
used
not.
to it anymore.
I'm not used to it anymore.
There you go.
It's too much of a faff. It's not as easy.
It was a little bit of a faff. So literally, I've
Yeah.
got a brand new Studio Underdog that every time I put it on, I'm sort of struggling to get it around. I'm actually considering changing the strap just to make it really
Just to
simple.
make it-
You
Yeah.
can, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
Deployment one.
Oh, nice.
What do you do with the fakes that people rock up with? We don't get a lot of fakes, thank God,
No.
for that. But when we do, obviously it's up to the customer. We send them back, and sometimes they ask us to just dispose of them.
There is a giant box, isn't there, with a load of like toys. It's like a toy box, isn't
Yeah.
it? When you
Yeah.
get one, and everyone can just laugh at. Which, yeah,
It's
it's not.
deployment.
It's not deployant. It's deployment. Yes, I think we knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did I say deployant? Sorry.
Maybe I did.
Speedmaster Mark 40.
Oh, Brian said, I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Let's.
29 likes. You kidding?
No, there must be more than that. Really?
Click the like
29
button.
likes? Yes,
Thank
come on,
you,
hit the
Russell.
upvote button. Right, before we go any further, what about a video of the other staff at BQ now you're all settled in? Nice to see the new building. That's an absolutely cracking idea. And Kid Mambo, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do that this week for
Don't
you.
say that, because
No, don't-
a lot
no.
of our
Nobody-
colleagues, they literally would hate. Obviously, we're going to ask them nicely and everything, but they don't like to be on camera. So that's why me and Kaylie were here.
That's why all you see is us. That's why the TikTok's only us.
we
That's
love
it.
being on camera, but not everyone does.
They don't.
No.
But do you remember when we were in the old office and right at the very beginning,
No.
I did meet the
did
team.
Can I tell?
team.
Yeah, and you said what was your favourite? Can I tell you? We got hated.
Why?
Hated for that.
Why?
Can't believe I've
I
got to do
didn't
this.
want to be
I
there.
don't want to do it.
I look ugly.
Yeah, I don't
Everyone
want to be
was
on
very
there.
like.
I promise you, you don't get
What,
it in the
David,
neck. We do.
David said I look ugly. He said, David, I look ugly.
David said, "Why have I got to do this?"
Yeah, no, I think it's
But we're
absolutely
gonna,
brilliant.
we're gonna try and. Yeah.
Well, I think we should definitely do that. How much for my Nando's dial Rolex? Very good. Talking about deployments, which would you prefer, the Pelagos deployment or the Sea Dweller Deep Sea?
Me personally,
Yeah.
I prefer the Sea Dweller.
I prefer the Deep Sea No, do I? Pelagos. I love the Pelagos, actually. Why has Spencer not worn his Lego watch that's
God
real?
knows.
Ian Nicholson, that is a great question. One that I will
He's
put to
just not-
Spencer.
yeah.
He is a creature of habit. He always he's in his Rolex Hulk era at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah,
He has not taken that thing off for about 9 weeks now.
that's
Yeah.
so funny thinking about it.
Do
actually.
you girls ever wonder about your safety?
A serious question.
No.
Not really. What does
don't
he
know what he
mean? Like,
means.
because we
Well,
handle
maybe-
watches,
Maybe
or
because
to see customers.
Well, maybe just because of where you live, London. You both live in very nice areas, safe areas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to lie.
I feel quite safe.
Yeah.
Gary Goodchild, brilliant stream, everybody. Thank you. You're welcome. Should we take some questions from Instagram? Okay, we had a few questions in from Spenelth3X. How old does a watch have to be before being classed as vintage? We know that now. We're going to go 25 to 30 years. Thank you to the everybody in the audience for answering that.
Well, I said that.
My Watch Channel. What watches are a fun place to start that offer low financial exposure for beginners? That's a great question.
This question kind of last week because
We
James
covered
said
it
about
with James
getting
about
one for his son.
Yeah.
I watched.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
So
watched.
we said Amiga, or obviously a lot of people said like Tissot or Seiko. It really all depends. I think it
On
also
the
all depends
budget
what the
as well.
budget is.
Budget. That's
So
exactly
that's the
where
big
it
thing.
starts.
Yeah.
I would
If
say
your budget's £1,000, we can give you brands. But
Yeah.
if your budget's, I don't know, 3,000. Do you know what I mean? There's
I can give you
different
one
brands.
at £225.
Seiko, someone says Seiko. yeah.
Swatch. What a great... That is exactly what it's designed for, to introduce the masses, the kids,
Yes.
to watches.
No, I have to agree on that.
And especially now that you have a collab with Amiga.
Yeah, I have to agree
I
on
mean,
that.
thank you very much. We all agree on that one. And Seiko. I mean, you can't go wrong with Seiko's,
No, but-
Casios.
But also, what I mean, like, if your budget's higher, then there's. Do you know what I mean? There's other brands.
Let's answer this one. Simon P. Do BQ ever have Vulcan watches through their doors? I've never seen one.
That is.
I've never seen one. I've never seen
No.
one.
We get offered them
Heavenly Mark
sometimes,
says
but-
£228, Gav. You're absolutely right. And Mark, just to let you know, I'm posting yours out to you tomorrow. Kid Mambo, do you have the same respect for the value of the watches you're handling, given the amount you must see and handle?
Yes. Each watch.
Yeah.
They're all handled the same.
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
Whether that's a 200 grand piece or a that £1,500
Obviously,
piece.
because we handle so many, I'm not gonna say that every time I see a Submariner, I'm like, wow.
Yeah, no.
But the attention
Yeah.
and the respect is
What I would
the
say
same.
is the attention that comes in when you see something you haven't seen.
It's amazing.
Like, for example, the watch that Russell's currently rolling around on his BMX in, that Spencer's, the Tudor Submariner that he's got. That commands like admiration on top.
Yeah.
Because when you don't see something so often, it does
Yeah.
become very, very special.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's very different when you see something every day, but when when something comes in, it's amazing.
Dioptre 75. Gavin, I went to IWC at Battersea. They didn't even have an engineer on display. You're absolutely right. I've been there as well, and they don't. And that is quite disappointing for their sort of flagship boutique in the area. Seiko Captain Willard, great starter watch. Absolutely. Thanks. See you on the 30th in the queue. Yeah, we'll talk about that next week, Mark. I can't even bother to go into it. I hope you've seen my mock-up that I put up on some of the swatch groups. It's another full moon. Don't even go there, Gav. Right, next question. Company logos, dials, worth anything? I think, no.
But the thing is
I mean,
with
Pizza Hut or Domino's.
But that's the thing. It's very unique to someone that's worked at Domino's.
yes.
But
For the
would
rest
you go
of the
out
world,
if I've never worked there? Would I go out and buy one? Probably not.
What about if
no.
you love Domino's?
Well, maybe.
You love watches?
We did sell one once.
Yeah, we did.
You did?
Yeah.
Yeah. Next question. Do you think the premium for the Tiffany stamp on a dial is worth it?
I think it's crazy.
It's mad, isn't it?
I don't think it is, honestly.
But is it because you're not a collector?
I don't understand the hype.
Yeah, I just
have a
think
name.
if it's a vintage watch and then you're really into watches, you're a collector, I do understand that somehow. But just because the color is very like popular, I don't know.
Here's a great question. Kid Mambo, how many of the staff at BQ have pulled the trigger and actually bought a Rolex for themselves? They're not paid enough. They're not paid enough. They're not paid enough. Go on. How many people?
Like
few.
a couple.
A few.
A few.
Yeah.
Not many. Obviously, who worked for Spencer for a longer time, you know, at the beginning when the Rolexes were in like 10
Yeah.
grand,
Yeah.
they all did, I would say, at the very, like
Yeah.
a while back. Nowadays, it's a bit more
Yeah, it's
hot.
a bit harder.
Yeah.
It's a bit harder.
Yeah.
Is it something you ever aspire to, Kaylie, or it's just not? I know you work in watches, so it doesn't have to be your thing.
I would love one, but I've
Yeah.
also got other things that I want to buy before I
Priorities.
go and buy a watch.
You want to do your mum a car,
Yeah, I want to buy a house.
a house, a holiday, Botox,
Yeah.
Lip filler.
filler for life, for life,
Lash extensions.
lash extensions,
Nails.
Yeah, Rolex is such a long way down the list. Well, how many years of service are you now?
3.
3. So we should start the campaign now for 10 years. 10 years for which? Do you think you should have like an
Green
entry level
Dial Daytona?
open Green Dial Daytona straight into the top? Yeah, absolutely. Question number 5. Oh, we've done this already. Thank you very much. Sorry about that, but 25 to 30 years. Mark Bowman, which one dial do you still see now and think that's amazing?
because I'm just trying to.
There is not like a particular one. To me, is some colors. Like I love some dials that have very different colors, like or shade. Even the James Cameron, I still think that is just amazing. The blue and black shade.
Yeah.
I like that. When something is different, obviously, if it's just a black dial or a blue dial, it's not.
Yeah,
I like the meteorite.
You like the meteorites? I don't. That doesn't do it for me at
but
all.
like on different watches.
Yes.
I like
I
to
love
see
that
how they
either.
look on different watches. So like a Daytona to a day date.
Yeah.
You know, to a GMT.
Kid Mambo says your knowledge for 3 years service is outstanding. Well done, Kaylie. And he spelt it correctly.
Thank
Look
you.
at that. Meteorite or John Mayer? Yeah, John Mayer data. I mean, I have to say, I know I set up for you last week the puzzle dial.
Yeah.
I am fascinated by that watch.
Yeah,
that John Mayer.
I think
are.
it's fascinating to see, but I wouldn't.
That
but
is. I mean,
buy it.
I could do a kidney for that watch.
Oh my Christ.
You
And
would.
yeah, I
But you
think
only
it's
need,
so
I actually
special.
thought about this the other day. You actually only need one kidney. So realistically, I could to buy the green dial Daytona, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't get rid of a kidney. Just
I know
yet.
somebody who donated a kidney this week
Oh wow.
to a stranger.
That's nice.
But that's
Yeah.
really nice. They didn't sell it in the grey market
No.
to get a watch.
No,
They done a nice,
absolutely
a
didn't.
nice deed.
Amazing.
Someone
amazing.
says mother of pearl dial. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
But also,
Yeah.
someone also said the Eisenkaisel, which I
Oh,
do
the
agree.
Eisenkaisel
Oh,
is
yes.
stunning. It is beautiful.
Yeah.
Do you know what the thing is? We are in such a privileged position at BQ to go into the vault and see. I mean, I took Russell in there the other day, and I just said to him, "It's just a candy store," and now it's like quadrupled in size
Yeah.
as well. It is, for a watch like, I mean, for Josh Benson to go and photograph these watches, it's the pleasure, isn't it? You know, when you
Especially
love
when
watches.
you love watches as
Absolutely.
well.
Yeah.
Tiger's Eye Daytona,
Yeah.
not Eye of the Tiger. Is that a Tiger's Eye? Tiger's Eye is different, isn't it, to a Eye of the Tiger?
I think that's what they mean.
Surely mean Eye of the Tiger.
Really? If it's Tiger's Eye. I'm not sure it is. Someone tell me. Go on.
No, I have no idea.
Is there a grey market for kidneys? Probably 4 CDs. I want to start a movement as well. You ready for this? Because I've been watching so many streams this weekend while I've been working all weekend in the middle of the night when I couldn't sleep. I don't think it should be called the grey market. By the way,
What do you mean?
I don't
don't
think
like
I don't think it's ever been the grey market because it's not grey market goods. It's not.
Yeah. When
It's-
you
I
say,
don't know
to
why
be
we just
fair,
don't call it pre-owned.
When you say grey market, it's
I think it sounds bad.
you assume something dodgy.
Yeah.
Somehow?
I mean, yeah.
I don't like that. You're right.
But I think the term
Pre-owned.
pre-owned
Pre-loved,
luxury, pre-owned, pre-loved, because that's what they call it in handbags. They don't call it the grey market
No, they
in Birkins, do
wouldn't.
they? It's pre-owned, pre-loved. I hate the term grey market.
agreed.
I was told, actually, I think maybe Paul Thorpe told me once upon a time, that it was actually more to do with Roman and his show and the US, and it just sort of seemed to catch on here with
That's
the
how
grey
they
market.
call it.
With grey market,
Yeah.
but actually, it has a totally different meaning. Grey is Nikon in the UK from Japan. Absolutely, it's when you have goods from another country sold in the wrong territory.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. In the
yeah,
car
grey-
market, it's previously cherished.
There you go. Previously, so I think we should now drop grey and simply as pre-owned, pre-loved. Pre-loved watches.
Yeah.
Somebody owns my Engineer and it's now pre-loved and now it's loved again. It's a bit like Toy Story and Andy. In my country, the old Explorer 2 Red Hands is much cheaper now. So are they worth it?
Does he mean orange hand?
Yeah, I'm confused. Red hand?
I'm really. I don't. Does he mean orange?
I can't ask
Oh
him.
yeah, I think so.
He sent it on Instagram.
Okay,
that's-
fine.
It might be
Just
colourblind,
because
to be fair.
I mean, but I also could be wrong. There might be a red hand.
And
but I
then we don't
think
know
there
his
was.
country. In UK, I mean, they are still looked after. But-
Yeah.
Yeah. It's my game 99. A bracelet stretch, fixable with replacement pins, costly. I know Paul Thorpe has covered this.
It is quite costly.
Yes.
It is quite costly.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it is fixable.
It's
that's for
fixable.
sure.
I think it's fixable.
Yeah,
but-
and part two of the question continued, but opinion seems to be bracelet replacement, not cheap on a Rolex.
It doesn't have
Presidential.
necessarily to be a replacement.
No, it can get fixed.
We know that you can get it fixed and it would look absolutely fine.
Yeah, we had
but
a
I do know that some people like to
No
get a new
need to
bracelet,
change it and spend
but-
too much.
Yeah, the price to get a new bracelet from Rolex is a lot.
must be big money.
Insane.
Insane.
We had a question that came in after the post went down, and I said I'd ask it. For the future, best to buy the entire OP collection in 36mm or 41mm?
My opinion personally is 41.
Agreed.
Bigger size tends to
Yeah.
always command a better money,
Yeah.
doesn't it? I mean, there's a watch that's held its value.
without a shadow of a doubt.
Amazing, isn't it?
Without like
Tiffany
question.
OP.
Yeah, crazy.
Wow. It didn't succumb to any of this blitz, did it?
Crazy, really. But
A 16570 Red Hand Explorer 2.
Oh, I see.
There you go.
okay.
Yes, and so says Rolly Mania as well. Amazing. Grey market is new, but without manufacturer's warranty. Ooh, not sure about that. Yeah. What do we think about our family, our community, our audience? Aren't they the best?
The best.
Having watched some of these other live streams over the weekend, sorry to dip back into it before we say goodnight to you all, but I have to say, you lot are an absolute pleasure. You are the reason
But you're the
why.
reason that we do it every week.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for you and all your positivity and nice messages and actually just words of encouragement and support for all of us, individually and together.
Just a nice bunch of individuals that watch the show on a Monday night. And actually, we clearly don't do it for subscriber count. We do it for quality, not quantity. Absolutely. We love every
Agreed.
single one of
No
you.
drama, says
Just thank you very much for joining us. And thank you very much for all your support.
But thank you for joining us every week as well.
Yeah.
Every Monday, without fail, 8
You're
o'clock.
there.
You're there.
Also, just off the record, because he wouldn't say it and he's on a plane, but thank you to all those who took the time to message Spencer over the weekends, just rallying for a bit of support that, don't take any of this nonsense going on elsewhere as to do with anything to do with you.
But also
so
thank you to them people as well that would stick up for him when he might not even know that anything's being said. I think that shows a lot as well.
Yeah. Oh, Ben asks, how much to service a tag?
It depends.
Yeah. I mean, you're probably best to call us and speak to the repairs department. I don't
repairs
want to give you a wrong
department.
price because I'm not 100% sure, unfortunately.
Yeah. Great show, great panel, great mods, great community, says Chris
Thank
Lutty.
you so much,
It is a
guys.
great community.
And
Thank you so
please
much.
Follow us, comment.
Yeah, so
Simon P put, shame it's not on a Friday night though, as a glass of wine would be nice. Tell me about, we should do gin Mondays, I'm telling you.
Gin Mark.
Can I tell what we should do one Monday?
Come on, tell me.
Just one Monday.
Just
Tell
a
me.
drink.
We should play like Say It or Shot It, but like make it juicy.
What is this teenage game that I've got to play?
Okay.
Say
But
it.
no, but real shots. Like,
Look.
I'll get a taxi here, you'd get a taxi here.
Yeah, okay. Go on.
Ilda will get a taxi.
How do we play it?
So basically, we all ask each other questions, but they have to be like juicy questions. Juicy.
What?
You either have to answer it honestly or you take a shot.
Yeah.
Give me an example of a question. I got a shot here. Can of water. Sponsors.
No, but it has.
Give me the idea, not make Gav eat dog food
No,
again. Not a chance.
nothing like that. But juicy.
Well, go on. Give me a juicy question. Give me an example of what you may ask a Love Island star.
If I was to ask a Love Island star,
Yeah.
I'd be like, that's easy.
Did you bang so-and-so under the covers? Would it be that sort of juicy?
No, or no. Mine would be, if I was to ask a TikToker or an influencer, who do you hate the most in the industry that you're in?
That's really interesting.
Hey,
Answer
big
it,
word.
or you take a shot.
And
All right.
then you can take a shot if you don't want to answer it.
Or you can answer it. That's not that you do either.
Oh, wow,
But
that's
so
really
then you
good.
ask me
Yeah.
a question that's quite juicy. I'd
Yeah.
either answer it or take a shot.
Oh, I'm just going to ask Spencer questions about his wife.
yeah.
Yeah.
He'll be taking shots all night.
He wouldn't be able to walk out of here.
Way. We did once, just quick story. Once upon a time, we were away skiing, and there was, it was about 30 years ago, Spencer, myself, and a bunch of us, and we sat around a table doing shots, except none of us were doing shots, just one bloke.
All of you the rest of you had water.
And this fella was
I know.
upside down paralytic.
Someone says, how many people have you slept with in the office?
Cringe. Shot.
Shot.
Janilda,
I'm
Shot it.
Janilda, you're
No,
just
okay.
kidding,
just
aren't you?
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it's good bit of humour to cover up there, Janilda. I wouldn't answer any questions if we can do it with
is
pints.
absolutely. Someone is asking if he's.
He's
That's nice.
absolutely
Thank you for asking.
fine. He is absolutely fine. He,
Greggy boy, body count.
He has a lot of support.
do you know what the funny thing is? Is Spencer doesn't watch YouTube at all. He just gets messages from people saying, "Wow, this was said," or "Wow, that," and he's totally oblivious. He's been playing paddle tennis all weekend.
Yeah.
He's had a lovely time. He knows what's going on, but he doesn't. He just doesn't.
He just
the
doesn't
get
same way we
involved.
don't get involved. We never
Yeah.
get involved. We're not.
We
there.
just felt like tonight there was some comments that we
Yeah.
just didn't agree with, and we just wanted to.
I'm bored with
say
being
our
picked
piece.
on, if I'm being honest. And
Yeah.
it's not even me. I don't work for BQ. I'm just bored.
Yeah.
I'm just bored with
I'm
it.
bored of being picked on.
Yes. But that's because you're a TikToker. That's your TikToker.
I get hate all the time.
Right. If you haven't done so already, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. It would mean so much to Kaylie, Jonilda and myself, and then, of course, Spencer. Don't forget to give us an upvote. Yes. Leave us a comment after. We love hearing from everybody. Yeah. I may go back into the show and then tell you what it was all about tonight in the notes, because I forgot to do that today. Have a brilliant week, everybody. Yeah. And if you haven't dealt with this yet on Consignment, it's only a matter of time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Good night.